Howdy, folks. Let's do an audio test here. Is everything working? Here, is everything working? Yeah. Okay, so I want to go through and get my winter daily done here quick, and then I'm going to head over to the triple test server and take a look at uh some stuff over there with the new ship. Rob, how's it going, man? Thank you for the membership. Very much appreciated. The post in Discord that I'm going live here. So the announcements live. Okay. I know this is a really random stream time, and that's literally because I woke up like 10 minutes ago. So I have the cameras not on also, because I don't feel like dealing with the light. Spider, how's it going? Okay, I'm gonna go through, get my winter daily done quick, and then I've got the ship over on Tribble, the winter ship. I want to go through and get some testing done with some aspects of it, so let's get this winter race done quick. Let's warp over there. Webbs, how's it going? I think I may have nuked my game sound earlier. I did. There, the game shouldn't look so blurry now. Steven, how's it going? I do have most of my dailies done though for today. I don't have the universal endeavor done, but I don't usually care about those. Terrible webs. Documents, how you doing? What was my opinion on omnis being massively overpowered? Um, when I saw that comment on the Reddit thread, I honestly I just closed out of that Reddit that tab. I just closed the window when I read that comment. Alan, how's it going?
East is good for business.
Friendly customers?
See, what's the market like today? But yeah, that Reddit thread, when I saw that comment that omnis were like overpowered, I noped out. Arthur, how's it going? 24s have not really been moving like I thought they would.
A winter item for a bargain.
I did pick up
Friendly customer.
the Sagan I know I mispronounce it and piss people off all the time, but the Sagan command cruiser. I picked one of those up yesterday. I traded a 27 and a 24 that I pulled from some DOF packs and traded them for that Sagan. So it's now a question of, am I going to put this on casual, or do I put it over on my Fed Psi to use as like the main ship on that character? I don't know.
A wise
You know, I
man
think
can
I'm
help
just
in the way.
okay. This, I stand AFK near the exchange console quite a bit. And this, like, hearing these NPCs talk gets a bit annoying. So I think tomorrow's video is going to be showing how to put this mod on called Less Annoying Wonderland, where it goes through and it nukes the audio on the EPO friends, so you don't hear the D1 and EPO friend anymore. It'll nuke the Ferengi vendor because it'll convert him to realize that the best thing for his business is for him to shut up, and it'll also shut up the gingerbread person that says snowmen are coming down all the lanes. So, probably gonna do a video showing how to install this mod, just for those of you that are getting a little bit annoyed at the uh, the audio of some of the NPCs on this map. Do I recommend any other mods? I personally use the engine trail removal one. I've been using that for a while and it's been very good. Is the Sagan any good? I think the Sagan is a good ship, but you just have to, if you go for it, it's not the best command ship. It's a solid ship. It's just not the best. Was the issue with it? Like it's a worse version of the Styx. It's a it's not gonna be a better tank than the Styx. It's not gonna be a better torp platform than the Styx. Yeah, there's a few nice mods over on the Nexus mods page, and you can go through. These are all allowed in the game. There's some reshade mods by Captain Wallace. They've done a really good job with some of the reshade mods, and especially if you're looking to get some really cinematic footage, you're doing demo records, or you're trying to take fancy screenshots, having those reshade presets can be really nice if you do use reshade, because you can go in and make the lighting on the ships a lot better. So that's definitely interesting to take a look at. There's loads of sound mods also. So you can change how some of the weapons sound. You can't change the visuals of the weapons, but you can at least change the vision or the sound effects of them. But yeah, there's a few different mods around here. A few voice mods. I think that I'm going to go through and do what I said here and start using this Less Annoying Wonderland mod and do a video about it. Just because, like I said, I stand AFK near the exchange console quite often, and tabbing in to hear the same NPCs saying the same shit over and over again just gets like that right there.
Oh, hence.
Like I've heard that like 1,000 times now. I don't need to hear it anymore. Wayne, you had issues with the arc launcher, or you had to reinstall the arc launcher because you had a lot of issues with Steam. Never fun. MF, how you doing? Slinish, yeah, the reshade mods are quite nice. New voice for Q, yeah. I don't really. I can't really say that I'm that crazy about the new voice acting for Q. It just, I don't know.
Home.
Like, I don't really care that much
Wow.
about the voice acting stuff, I think the devs focus way too much on that rather than giving us actual content. Like I miss the good old days where we didn't have to wait for a voice actor to come in and they could just spam out missions. So, and Kathy, let me take a look at that. Um, these are the materials that I can use, so it cannot use the Evo Devil or whatever. I missed two there. So it's a bit limited. Also, promo ships, like I know I talked about this in my news video yesterday, but honestly, like right now is the best time we have ever had in the history of this game to try and get promo ships. And I'm not saying that to try and get you to gamble, but it's just that promo ships are, well, the packs have never been this cheap. I went through and I ripped a couple packs. I did not get lucky. Um I've still got enough for what I wanted to use my Zen for. Though I will say, if they run like a 75% mud sale here next week, I will burn every last bit of Zen I have getting some muds packs. Shame there hasn't been a nice mission space set. Yeah. Well, they said that they get more engagement by having the events that pop up when a new mission comes out. So they would rather do the FOMO based sets like we've been getting here in the past couple years. So what is that? Awards. Like the Revo set, Camarque set. Like they would rather do these sets where they're available for a limited time and you have to play like that mission or a TFO each day for like 20 days to get the stuff. So that's the way they're going to go moving forward. I think it sucks, but it is how Cryptic wants to go with things. Waldo, how's it going, man? How's the weather been for you? It's really warm here. It's 16. We don't have much snow here though. It's like a trace of snow on the ground. Damo, how's it going? Days of Doom as the Universal. I'd say to report that on the forums, honestly. Like, let's see if they do anything, but you're gonna be stuck dealing with that issue over there for a while, unfortunately. So the thing with this time of the year is with Cryptic, there's not gonna be any big changes now until like middle of January. So like any bug fixes or anything like that, um, just ain't gonna happen right now. Any point in upgrading the D7 Merc Worker Beams? The advanced disruptors are pretty good, Space FX. Like they're pretty good. Um, and if you're on a build where you're using multiple of them, they do have a higher proc chance than normal weapons. Like I can show that here. I've got one right here. So like these advanced disruptors, they have a 5% proc chance on them instead of 2.5%. And the proc on them is actually one of the few useful procs in the game. And because it's not putting a proc like a debuff or something on the target. That's one thing that always severely hurts most procs is they just will randomly dump a debuff onto a random foe. this proc is going to buff you for 15 seconds. It's got a 5% chance to proc, so it's double the normal proc rate. And if you're running 6 of these beams, for each one that you have on, it's giving you an extra 10% crit severity. So, like, if I was wanting to maximize this Excelsior build, for example, and I was willing to use like disruptors, and I put on the full set of these things, like every one that I add, you see the amount of crit severity I get with the proc goes up 10%. So that goes all the way up to 60%. It's the last one here. So, like right there, now I'm at 60% crit severity, and you know, the phaser versions are also pretty good. The phaser versions do the exact same thing, and by owning, I think if you own the D7 Miracle Worker, it does give you access to the phaser ones also in the store. I need to check to reload my loadout here. Before I go and test things on Chervil, I want to check something. Did I take advantage of the 50% off R&D packs? I would not buy the R&D packs. If you're going through and buying promo packs, if you want to open a ton, I would get the duty officer bundles. But if you're looking to get the packs to resell later on, just buy the Delta Alliance duty officer packs. A bunch of people were getting confused and leaving comments too, stating that I was like misleading about the value of the Delta packs. I had like 3 or 4 people in the end message me about this. People were not looking at the promo versions of the Delta Alliance DOF packs. People were looking at just the normal Delta Alliance DOF packs, and the promo ones are, you know, they're worth a lot more. So the Delta Alliance are the most valuable long term, and if you're really wanting to get EC out of these promo packs, you're going to want to wait and not sell for a little bit. Just be patient. Okay, I need to claim the Kathy, thank you for the $2. How's Willow doing out there? Yeah, yeah. Um, no, I'm just saying that too because I had like. Let me send you this comment. The guy was actually getting like comments on that video saying that I was like misleading people. And it was just because the person hadn't looked at they were looking at the normal DOF packs and not the promo versions. Okay, where the hell did that ship go in my inventory? Or did it actually open? It happens. Let me relog on this character. What is the name of the ship that I just got? I hate this bug where it's like the ship is like sitting in my inventory somewhere after I open the box for it. I don't see it here. I don't know. I was gonna test something Steven messaged me the other day saying I could get a set of the advanced phasers by claiming my legendary disco colony on this character, but oh no, there they are. There they are. Okay. I couldn't find it. So yeah, it gave me the 6 advanced phasers from claiming that ship on this character. So I could put the phaser beams on my Excelsior if I wanted, but and it would work really well with the surgical strikes, to be honest, but it wouldn't be the right color. That's why I didn't. The Excelsior 2 build that I've been running is like actually sort of themed, as weird as that sounds for me. And which character is at? I mean, I'm doing like with that surgical strikes build with the themed stuff on it. The best run I had was like 917k or something. So at that point, does it really matter? Webs. What's this right here? If this is this window here is my like live account. That should answer it for you. Yeah, if you want to try out the winner ship, you can go over to Tribble and buy it out for Bloby. So I want to try out the Ravager Shriek. I don't think I'm going to get around to the Starship trait today, just because I don't feel like setting up the ship um on my EPG character over here. But I would like to swap over to... No, I'll just stick with this ship. I'm just going to set this up with a CSV setup. Realistically, if you're wanting max performance on this winter ship, that would be the way to go. Should start the parser up. Yeah, the winter ship is really good. What I've been saying to people, you don't want to miss out on it because it is legitimately one of the better ships. Let's go. There we go. Yeah, and this is honestly, this is an event ship that is equal to some of the lockbox ships we've had over the past couple of years. Like this ship is as good as like a mere strike-wing escort. You could even do the Revo 2-piece on this. When I get the ship on holodeck, I'll do some more like tuning and messing around with builds, but for the point of what I am doing here today, I am going to make my life significantly easier and just slap a cannon scatter volley setup on it, not worry about any of the do side crap. And I'm going to test the experimental weapon out. I got my spiral wave cannons here. Well, Webs, you can if you have even like 100 Lobby, you can copy the character over 10 times to Tribble, and bam, you got all the Lobby you need. Martin, how's it going, man? The console, I don't know how the console's going to perform. I might not get enough accurate testing done with that today. I think for the trait, I'm going to have to test that out on a proper EPG build, and I am just not mentally there right now to go in and set up an EPG build over here. I'll do that off stream, but I can at least test the the experimental weapon out, compare it to like the Soliton. Let's see here. I do need to upgrade the ship. Do I have any upgrades on this character? Yeah, I do. Been good. I picked up the Sagan last night, traded a 27 and 24 for it. Outside of that, really not done a ton in Stowe. It's been a busy week for me. Been spamming out all the videos as you guys have been seeing. Okay. Let's grab some haste here. Got that towards Domino. The thing that sucks about Domino over here on the test server is in the test map, it doesn't actually stay active the entire time. So because you're not getting kills, you can't extend the duration of it. I guess a real basic option here too is point defense and DPRM, because the 2-piece has a disruptor boost. Bioneural. Where was DPRM? I just woke up and I haven't even had a coffee yet, so I'm a little bit slow right now. And let's go disruptor. Gonna leave the Fakiri or the Torment engine on, and also the console from this ship. I'm gonna save this loadout, and then I'm just gonna head down to ground to grab a T6X token. Am I using coalition disruptors? No, I'm using spiral waves. Spiral waves are statistically like just the best weapons in the game, because the spiral modifier is actually two modifiers and proc. So like on paper, spiral wave disruptors are the only weapons that like actually have a baked in advantage over other weapons. That's why you see so many deeps players run spiral waves. Intriguing, you got an epic token? Dude, I wish I could just sell or give some of these ones I have away. Like, I've gotten a couple over the years, and I think I've even had one or two that I broke down into ultra rares at points. So right now, I've got 6 in my bank, and it's like, what use do I have for them? Like, I have every single ship already on account wide unlock that's in that Epic store. Yeah. It can be brutal for sure. Okay. Just 2 in 1 month. Yeah. That's so I actually got into an argument with someone about that recently. The ships that you get from the Epic store here, any of these items or ships that you get are character bound. So it ends up actually being more cost effective if ships, or it ends up being better for us players if ships are put into the Mud store rather than into the Epic Phoenix store. So every time you see someone saying to add more event ships to the Epic store, just keep in mind it would be a lot better if they were added to the Mud store, because the Mud stuff, remember, it always goes 75% off, like, once every month or 2 months. And that means that an event ship that is put into the mud store is going to cost $42, I think it is. Where's my calculator at? Oh, my microphone's blocking it. So it costs 4,250 Zen to get an event ship through the mud store, or if it's available there. And for that $42 worth of Zen, the ship's on account wide unlock through the mud store. Now, if it's in the Epic, or it's in the Epic Phoenix store, you need an Epic token for each character you want that ship on. And like, you just read Justin's luck there. He's put $100 in and hasn't gotten a single Epic token. Like, as a for us players, we want the ships to be easily accessible, and for that to happen, as crazy as the price looks when you look at it, once you factor in sales, you really want the event ships to go to the mud store rather than the Epic Phoenix store, because as soon as you need a ship on more than one character, the Phoenix store is going to just absolutely destroy your wallet. Yeah, I mean, you can get the epics for free with, free to play also, but you can also get the Zen free to play also. Like, and at the end of the day, when you factor the average drop rate for the Phoenix tokens, by the time you get an epic Phoenix token, in most cases, you will have used enough dilithium that had you converted it over to Zen, you would be able to buy that ship on account wide unlock in MUDs if it was an option there. But yeah, that's exactly it, Justin. If they put the event ships into MUDs rather than the Phoenix store, they wouldn't make as much money. Okay. Let's go SRO inch here. This is a temporal. This one out. Yeah. Yeah, Arthur. Even though the deluxe takes some time, like it's a month wait for your deluxe order to go through, but still, even at that point, like that is better for you than doing the gambling in Phoenix. But unfortunately, even if you do that, not every ship is available in the mud store because that'd be too good of a deal. I don't have recursive trained on this. Brain, how's it going? Only have one character. Yeah, it takes a month for the deluxe to go through, but it still does go through. So that's the most important part, is that it still at least is an option. Mess around with timeline collapse. What else could I do here? Let's do... I don't even have chronometric on this. I'm gonna have to go to BOF Fender and fix this. Or I'm just not gonna worry about the BOF layout too much today. Let's do let it go. SRO Tech 2. This doesn't even have OSS. Okay, so I would normally put OSS 2 here, but I'd have to go to a BOF trainer to get that on here, and that's one disadvantage of me trying this out over on Tribble, is that not everything is always going to be easily accessible. I have some hope that moving forward, the deluxe will not be as bad. Yeah, I think that there's been some recent behind the scenes changes that will hopefully help make things a little bit more accessible for the rest of us. Okay, I'm not setting the ship up fully. We're testing the experimental weapon here first. 27 to Mr. Moondock. Yeah. At 35 days. I mean, I could say this much. I've talked about in the past how, one of the biggest issues for the game in general with regards to the economy is bots. And there was a really large bot farm that a group of players recently found and reported. And the scale of the bot farm, from what was shared with me from these players, was like 100 accounts. Think about the type of impact 100 accounts has had on the Dilex. Think about that. 100 accounts. 100 fucking accounts. Imagine if each of them has 50 characters. And imagine if each of them is refining 8,000 lithium a day. You want to know why the Dilex has been screwed? Because Cryptic doesn't have any capability to detect bots. This was found by a group of players. They reported it, and from what I understand, from what they've responded with, it's been dealt with. Terrible, Nick. Just think of the type of impact 40 million dill potentially being refined by a bot farm could have on the Dilex. And you want to know why it's so screwed up. Every MMO has bots like that? Yeah. Absolutely. They don't want me to disclose how they found out, because if any more attempts pop up, I think those players want to be able to get data to deal with it again. Web's Tiny Task is an automation piece of software, so, use it at your own risk. Demo, that is not true. You can go and look on eBay, or, yeah, I mean, eBay. You can go on eBay and look up ships for Stowe, and you can see what those accounts are doing. They are very much converting their Zen to cash. Terrible webs, gambling bad. Okay, let's see the experimental weapon here. I know I'm going really slow today, guys. I'm sorry. You're at pity point, though? Okay, that's acceptable. Okay, so we're going to test the experimental weapon on the ship. Let me check my traits, make sure they didn't get scrambled. These traits are not perfect right now, but we'll just leave them. Specializations are fine. So the experimental weapon is the Ravager Shriek, and it will basically do damage to anything within 2 kilometers of your foe, including the foe, of course. and it will do fire damage, and then it'll have a fire damage over time effect. And yeah, it counts as a control, it looks like. So oh, it's because it's got a confuse on it. So if you get a confuse, it would trigger any control related things you have. Where is that here? Ravager Shriek. Is that, let's see how that scales power wise. Is that scaling up with, how's weapon power working with it? Yeah, it is scaling with weapon power. So run max weapons, rest in engines as usual. Okay. Let's fire this off once or twice and just see how it does. I've got the combat log on. That visually looks really good. Too far away to like see the... See what that looks like on SCM here. I mean, that did a lot for the one shot. And then that has a... That'll proc Fakiri, Torment Engine. That did a lot of damage there, to be honest. I'll fire it. Fire it again now. It's got an 8-second reload. Like, it's doing a decent amount of damage, it looks like. Pop that one open in SCM. Those are too close together. Let's change the preferences. Time between combats, set that to 15 seconds. Not do as much damage that time, or... So the first shot it did 470k, the second one did 312. The crit chance, it just ain't crit. That was the issue there. So it takes 2 seconds to fire, and then it's got an 8-second recharge. So basically it fires once every 10 seconds. Let's take a look at that last shot there, see what that did. 529. So if it crits, it does really quite a bit. But that's really good for these numbers so far. Like, that's a lot of damage for a single shot from the experimental weapon. Let's try it against the Soliton now. The thing with the Soliton is that it fires really fast because it scales up with both weapon power and then engine power. The higher your engine power, the faster it shoots. So let's shoot this one. I'm going to shoot the Soliton here for a minute. Just going to let it go, and then we'll go back through and shoot the other one. You see, it fires a lot faster, though. Multiple accounts is fine, so long as you're actually controlling them. So the thing with Soliton is that it's single target. So the Ravager is going to absolutely win in an AoE environment like this. So I'll do a test with the Ravager. That's a minute against a single target, and then another minute with the multiple targets. Well, you don't have to move with the Soliton either. It just needs high weapon power. It doesn't actually need you to move. It just the recharge on it scales with the with your engine power. What's going on? I'm testing the experimental weapon out right now, Chell. So I did the Soliton for a minute. The Soliton in a minute did 846k damage. Now I'm going to swap this out for the new Ravager, and I'm going to shoot this for a minute. And the Ravager is going to win. This is going to be the AoE test for the Ravager, and then after the minute, I'll go through and do a single target test, which would be more comparable for the Soliton. Test it versus Graviton Implosion charges? Yeah. I think I have that on this character. I'm not hitting any damage buffs, I'm just letting the weapons fire. Same level of power and all that, so. Fun casual stuff. Terrible chill. So over a minute, there be the damage that we had from that. It literally did 3 times what the Soliton did, but that's because there's 5 targets, so need to see how it does single target. Graviton Implosion Charge you said there, Chell? I think I have that. Yeah, here we go. Let me upgrade that. One nice thing about being on Tribble, they have these really nice upgrades you can get from the vendor over here that make it super easy to go through and upgrade shit. Okay. Graviton. Let's re-engineer that. Would be interesting to see the numbers in an IC run. Yeah. I probably won't get around to that today, to be honest with you, James. I'm trying to minimize doing too much with my left hand because my wrist is. Oh, I forgot to lock the damage there. My wrist is bugging me quite a bit. And unfortunately, I've got an appointment set up to get an MRI on my left wrist here next month, but gotta wait a bit for that. Basically, I initially was thinking it was like carpal tunnel or something, but it's actually like a cyst or something inside my hand that is like right up against some of the tendons or something or whatever. So sometimes it just really hurts to use my left hand, and it's been like that the past couple days. Terrible, chow. Okay, got the Graviton Implosion charges upgraded, and we'll fire these for a minute and see how it goes. Yeah, the damage from this thing is definitely not comparable, Chell. This is more about the control aspect because the Graviton Implosion charges has a little bit of a pull attached to it. The other one for me to test here would be the Shuckden, because that's the other one people usually consider like a a top performer, right? Yeah. That's your minute. So numbers wise, a single shot of the Ravager did more damage than the Graviton, but what's interesting is that the damage from the Graviton really is not that far behind what the Soliton did. Like in this test environment. So it wasn't that far behind what the Soliton Wave Impeller did. It's interesting. Let me see, do I have... Yeah, I've got it right here. Let's do a minute with the Protometer Lace Sheller. This used to be like the experimental weapon that people would go for. Because it does a lot of damage against a single target. Yeah, this is not doing as well as I thought it would. I think the Graviton implosion charges may end up beating this thing out. This is a bit rough. Have I won the T6 Temporal Enterprise? The T6 Connie, the Temporal one, it's a good ship, but it's it's not the best. Yeah, the Sheller, I mean the Sheller did end up beating out the Soliton in the end there. To be fair, like it beat out the Soliton, but it just did not feel good at all. Okay, let's go back and do the Ravager again. And the Ravager's looking really promising, to be honest, but we need to see how it does against fewer targets, so need to configure test dummies, set number of test dummies to 1, and let's see how it does against a single target. Yeah, I tested the Soliton already. It did 800k damage in a minute. Billy, how's it going? I just testing some of the stuff off the new Fekiri ship here. Right now, just testing the experimental weapon. Against a single target, it seems to be quite rough, but as soon as you have multiple targets grouped up, this looks like it is the experimental weapon to use, to be honest, based on the numbers so far. Single target, the Soliton or the Sheller definitely are winning out. The Soliton, the Soliton scales up with engine power. It's not like actually scaling up with the speed of your ship, if I recall. Steven, how's it going? So yeah, single target, the Ravager Shriek is not beating out the Soliton Wave Impeller. But as soon as you have multiple targets, like as soon as you have more than 2 targets, or even just 2 targets being hit on average by your experimental weapon, then this actually beats out like everything else. So I think the experimental weapon off of the Fekiri Burjai is probably going to end up being like the top performer. And then especially if you are going through and grouping enemies up together, I think the testing so far has really shown that, well, this thing can do really well against a group of enemies. Now, for the console on this ship, let's see what that does again. Yeah, I'm not going through and getting testing of everything on the ship done today. Just because my wrists have been bugging me, and I really don't want to like spam the spacebar too much right now. But the console here does look interesting. The passives on it look fine. Yeah, Mike, exactly. Like if you have Gravwell on your build, um, this is going to be an amazing experimental weapon to run. So the console opens a portal for 30 seconds that spawns lost souls and deals fire damage. On initial activation, it deals fire damage within a 5-kilometer radius. Debuffs them. Gonna call in another set of test dummies here. We're gonna go to 5 targets again. I'm gonna group them up on this central test dummy here. No Bozeman console. The build that I have on here is not what I would end up running for, most likely. I didn't have a bunch of abilities trained over on these characters on Shibble, so I don't have OSS here. So I don't have override subsystem safeties. I didn't have recursive shearing. So the layout that I have buff wise is not what I would run. It'd be a little bit different. Nick is asking, Nick, is this Fed or KDF? Hold on a second. Fed? Okay, send me a map invite and then I'll AFK while I do this. Yeah, James, exactly. So I think based on the testing so far, and I know people have had good results. Steven here is posting some really good results. Nick, can you send me an invite? I think the results so far have shown that as soon as you get a group of enemies, this is a really powerful experimental weapon. And then as soon as as soon as you can group them up, like it just is going to slam. Nick, where am I going? They need me to AFK a colony sim. Nick, are we going to far left like normal or somewhere else? Let me go and get in position over here. My game looks like PS1 quality era here because it's set to render scale 0.1. So it's rendering like a really small window like that size. Or even smaller than that. Let me just get in position here and yeah, if anyone wants to help with the Fed colony sims for MC Stew's Fed fleet, X up for colony sims in chat, give your @ handle, and we can get you an invite. Scale, I've done that. 001. Does that make you feel good, Chell? Like I'm rendering 1 pixel. It's a bit rough though to try and see what's going on. Finally, Stowe looks good. Jeez, Shell. Okay. Let's hit the console here and just see what it does damage-wise. Portal of the Damned. Really neat visual, to be honest. You can see the lost souls like coming through and attacking the ships. Yeah, I mean, the console looks pretty cool. Couple lost souls stuck around and are still doing some damage. Do they just continue to stick around until they're killed? 30 seconds, okay. So these things will time out after 30 seconds. Yeah, I mean, that looks pretty interesting, but the damage on it doesn't seem to have been that spectacular. Yeah. The damage from the console was really not that large. It did not crit at all, which most likely did not help. So let me slot Particle Manipulator here. See if I can boost my crit chance up and see if that helps at all. I don't know if they're affected by Particle Manipulator, but we'll find out. This is boosted by EPG. Yeah, so the clicky at least is boosted by EPG skills. So if you want to boost it up, you can slot plus EPG items. What do I have here for EPG? I've got, this is not my character for science stuff. Micro dark matter, I can at least slot. Let me slot some locators also for crit chance. See if I can boost the crit chance up a little bit. I'll slot, or yeah, the Lorca. I forgot the T6X this ship, so I don't have another attack console. Try using the SAD trait. I mean, I know about SAD, but that's, I'm not, with what I'm doing right now, that's not going to do anything for this. Is that console bound to the ship? No. Okay. Does the console scale up with the with aux power? That's what I want to see now. So it's not scaling. It's not scaling with weapon power. Let's see, aux power scale it. Yep, aux power scales that up quite nicely. So aux power will boost this console up quite a bit. Let's try that again. This time I should hopefully have a better crit chance with it. I'm not going to really be flying around too much today. My left wrist is really bugging me, so I'm trying to avoid like spamming spacebar or anything like that too much right now. Parker, how's it going? Okay, we're going to try the console again, Portal of the Damned. This is the console from the Winter Event ship. Hit them with the Ravager dot first, then do the clicky. Okay, I'll try that next. Yeah, the damage definitely shot up just for me, you know, knocking the aux power up there, so that's good. For reference, let's hit dark matter anomaly here and just see how this does. I didn't realize this thing moved around so weird like this. Yeah, DMA does not look good. Yeah, to be fair though, the DMA did do the fair bit of damage. Like it did 700k from that activation compared to 1 million from the activation of this new console. Actually, if you exclude that fact, the Torment engine, then they were pretty close. Steeps was. This character, the build on this specific ship is not really like finalized. It's just something I randomly tossed together so I could test the gear on it. So this build is just a little bit of a mess right now as I try out some different things. When I get the ship on holodeck, I'll be doing like an actual like build on it, and I might pick that up here sooner rather than later. To be honest, I'm already sort of
You'd have failed the colony. Get to your positions.
I'm sort of tired of doing the winter event. You know, I'm not big into the winter event map like a lot of people are. You know, I've been doing the winter stuff for like a decade now, and not much has really changed. So I might just end up using a little bit of Lobby to just finish it a little bit early. Because right now I'm already at like 12 out of 20 days, so it cost me 400 Lobby to buy the ship out right now, and Lobby's not much of an issue for me. 5 res labs, of course not. I would probably, I don't know. I don't know what I'll do with it yet. To be honest, Chell. I haven't had my coffee yet. My head is a little messy. I didn't. So I slept most of the day because my sleep schedule's messed up, and then because of a neighbor, I had the fire alarm go off at around 3. There you go, Nick. My character's closer. A neighbor hit their like their fire alarm or whatever in their apartment, so they set that off, and it went all the alarms in the entire building were going off for like half an hour. So trying to sleep through that was, well, impossible. Yeah, I at this point I just buy out the currency, you know. All of the winter commodities are really cheap on the exchange, and I would rather just go and spend like 50 million EC, stockpile a bunch up rather than sit there and grind the events out. Like I've done them so many times in the past, I just do not care about them anymore. Okay. I'm gonna hit them with the Ravager Shriek and then the console. Terrible Chow. It looks like this one finally crit at least, so the damage on it may be doing a little bit better. Yeah, the console off this ship does look like it's a fairly nice console, and I wonder how it would perform in an HSE type environment. Just have to wait for these lost souls to perish. Yeah, let's take a look at the parse. So when the console crits, it greatly helps. Yeah. So pretty good numbers out of it. I mean, and I'm not even like on a fully built out EPG character. I'm not on an EPG build. Like I don't think these results are terrible. The console visually looks nice, and the damage from it does seem to be quite decent. If you're spec'd into the EPG stuff, especially. Now for the trait, the trait's one part I probably won't get to today because I would need to set this up over on. I'd have to copy SOB over and set the ship up, level it over there, and I just really don't feel like that right now, to be honest. Does it work with the other Fakiri ships? Yeah. Yeah, if you have the other Fakiri ships, you could also use the consoles to boost it up even further, because it's doing fire damage. So you could run, like, Chains of Fire to boost it up further. You could run any of the other Fakiri consoles to boost it up. I just wish the Fakiri consoles had a set. Like, the Breen stuff has a set. But this is looking like a really good console. I mean, the ship, even though I haven't really shot or, done anything with the ship here, really, the ship itself, um, this is a really good platform. Like, if you're a free-to-play player, this ship is absolutely amazing. The experimental weapon is looking like it may be one of the better ones, if not the best experimental weapon we have. The console is pretty decent, and on the science build will be a very good performer, it looks like. Do full impulse with it. Yeah, full impulse with the Fakiri ships, like the fire behind them. You can't even see the ship. It's very immersive. It looks good. So yeah, to answer the question that anyone has had about this ship, it's a very good ship. Um, I haven't really shown builds off with it here today or whatever, but I'll have a video out going over like build theory craft with this ship before most of you are getting it from the event. So sometime in the next week, I intend to get that video done. I need to tune the vents down. Yeah. Looks really interesting though. Smile face on the back. His smile face from hell. Yeah. The lighting in here is not really doing that justice. Thank you for that info, Steven. I'm going to start up the giveaway that I talked about in yesterday's video. This will run for 1 day. There will be one winner. This is PC only. E6 Excelsior. It's like there we go. And as with always, if you are drawn as the winner, you will have 48 hours to respond to me and claim the prize. So that is up. That is courtesy of an anonymous donor who wishes to remain anonymous. So go in and enter for that Excelsior 2 if you are interested. Are there any other experimental weapons that I should take a look at here? Like most of these are garbage. I can tell you that without even like actually like using them. Like a lot of these are really bad. Terrible, Chell. The what is that? The slam shot? Yeah, Quentin, you can get right on that. Just gotta. I don't use a normal phone though. I use this newer thing called Discord. Quentin writes some of the best comments under the videos that I have seen. I usually pin them because they're just so creative. You know? Well, apparently they need help in the colony sim. Yeah, my character's auto firing. There you go, Nick. You got help. Okay, back to Tribble here. Let's test this slam shot out. Yeah, Brandon, we've lost quite a few people over the last year or two, haven't we? It's not been a good couple of years here. Okay, trying the slam shot out. Let this go for a minute and see how it goes. This is the experimental weapon that you can get from the competitive reputation, I believe. I can already tell you that it sucks. Terrible, Chell. One more shot. That's all you're getting. No, that's a minute. So the experimental slam shot to magnetic artillery is pretty rough. I would not use. Gen 1, not 2. Oh, am I on the wrong? Yeah. Let me go over there, Nick. Nick, what? They're doing a colony sim on MC2's fleet, and um, they need help at Gen 1, it looks like. So I am going to go over there and help with that. And by help, I mean I'm going to put my character AFK right on the thingy and let my weapons stay on auto fire. There we go. So yeah, the competitive reputation experimental weapon definitely is not that great. I haven't tried some of these other ones out yet. I don't know how the Terran repeating warhead launcher goes. I guess that's what I'm going to do a little bit here, is just see how terrible some of these experimental weapons are. So let's upgrade them to max quality and then give them a good set of modifiers. So close. There we go. And I'm going to fire this for a minute, just like the others. This is the experimental weapon off of the Adamant, I believe, the Terran repeating warhead launcher. It looks okay, but doesn't really look that quantum-y to me. Voice of the Prophets is a really good budget one. I can test that after this one. Okay. That one was not good. I think that was clear pretty much immediately. It did about as much as the slam shot one did, so did about as much as one of the free ones. Let's check Voice of the Prophets here. Shell, with you not liking bright light, you'd be a big fan of my current setup because I've got every monitor set to 0 brightness right now. And this room is like a cave. Okay, here's Voice of the Prophets. Let's go and fire. Um, The Mirror Strikewing S. Well, Webs, keep in mind the Mirror Strikewing, you can get the Mirror Strikewing in the 12th anniversary bundle. And that's on account unlock. But like, I would say the crossfield refit would be good to just have in general for you. But getting sad, would also be nice. Okay, that is 1 minute. Let's take a look at the numbers. So it definitely did better than the others, and in fact, it even did better than the Soliton Wave Impeller. But going back to this new experimental weapon, if I can find the right combat log here. This new experimental weapon can still beat it. I think I already did that, Ed. Garth, how's it going? The DPRM's nice, but I do think it gets a little overhyped, to be honest. Like, the DPRM is a really good console, but at the same time, like, I think it's a good recommendation for a lot of people because the survivability boost can be really good in a pug environment. But most of my deeps builds haven't been running the DPRM for like the last year, to be honest with you. That changes on the do ones though, I guess, but like DPRM is good. It's just, yeah. So Ravager Shriek, the new experimental weapon, does outperform the Voice of the Prophets. But Ed, I think I tested that because that's the Graviton Implosion charge, right? Yeah, I did test that, and it did worse than the Soliton and about a third of what the Voice of the Prophets did. Yeah. Arthur, you use phasers on 2 of your characters for the equipment sets. Are disruptors that much better than phaser? No. Generally, you're fine using whatever damage type you want. Like, I know people also will like go out and be very negative about like Polaron or Tetron, but you can go out and use whatever the hell you want, and the difference is going to be very, very small. The difference between you running like a Tetrion build and a phaser build, of course there will be the difference from not having the Terran beam, but for the rest of the weapons, it's not going to be that much different. And you may not even notice it just given run-to-run variance, because of the randomness of how you are going to pilot, the randomness of how your team is, how much debuffs in the map. You use whatever color you like. Yeah. Indeed, Chell. So again, I'm gonna just say, I know I haven't done a ton with the ship itself yet or with the trait, but the console off the ship is actually pretty decent. The experimental weapon is outperforming literally everything else that I have. So I'm again going to say that if you have not started, towards trying to go and get the ship, you need to go and pick it up sooner rather than later. The Terran beam, it's the Terran set beam from the Terran Reputation. Initially you just get a disruptor version, and then at tier 6 in that Reputation, you can get a phaser version. And it's the single best beam array or single best dual heavy cannon in the game. Like, I've got the Terran phaser or Terran disruptor dual heavy cannon on here, and the reason why it's so much better is because the Terran set weapons will scale up the amount of damage they do as your target loses hit points, so they can do a lot. How does the Ravager Shriek do without Torment Engine? Let's find out. I'll slot just another locator. I know it's a phaser one, but whatever. And let's shoot it here for a minute. Iron Array versus Dual Beam Bank. Yeah, I think that's always depending. That's dependent on the pilot, right? Like traditionally, it's the mindset with that has been is if you're doing a dual beam bank setup and you are keeping yourself face towards the target 100% of the time, you don't run the Terran. Okay. Weapon's not going to fire anymore. That is 1 minute. Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense too, Chell. So what I just did there was the experimental weapon. I have shown off the console, and I'll show that again here in a moment. Let me just take a look at... Yeah, so even without the Torment Engine, it still outperformed the Voice of the Prophets. Voice of the Prophets did 1.4 million damage in the minute I gave it. This thing, without Torment Engine on, did 2.3 million. The console, again, let me show that. So I'll fire off the experimental weapon. This is the visual of the experimental weapon. And then this is the console. And if you look closely, you can see that there's actually lost souls that spawned that are doing damage to the ships. And you'll see them stick around after the console, like, wormhole disappears. Webs. This is the best experimental weapon. The one off of the ship. Is what it looks like. And you can see these lost souls, they stick around for a little bit and they'll attack the ships by clawing them. Why are my weapons not auto-firing in that colony sim? Okay, now they are. So yeah. I think the visuals of the ship are fine. The experimental weapon looks okay. It reminds me of like some of the old energy torps, to be honest. Like, I'll fire it again. It really does remind me of like the old anti-proton energy torpedoes. Which I do not think I have on this character. I named him. The console looks good. I don't know how well the trait's going to do, and I don't have a build over here to accurately test that. But you know, I've said this numerous times now throughout the month. This is really an event ship that you do not want to miss out on. It's a really good ship. It looks like it's got the best experimental weapon in the game. The console looks like it's performing fairly well on a more EPG focused build. I'm not sure how that will stack up in an actual HSE though. But it looks really interesting. The damage numbers from it are not terrible. And the ship itself is really good. Like, this is a really, really solid platform with this bridge officer setup. The best until they fix it. Yeah. It's always the issue with them. Yeah, Goctad with the trait and console off the ship to spam out even more lost souls would be pretty interesting. Chell, you joke about that, but honestly with them, you just never know. Okay, so I do want to remind you all again that there's a giveaway up over on the Discord that I just started. It will last for 1 day. You just have to go to the giveaways channel in my Discord, which is linked in the description down below. And go to the giveaways channel and hit this icon down here, and you will be entered to win. There's a day to get in on that, and then there's an Infinity T6 ship choice pack that is also being given away. That drawing will end at the end of the month. And of course, there's a bunch of other giveaways going on, which I mentioned in my news video yesterday. And I did start some over on the builds Discord, just for some traits though. So it's not a ship, but you know, if you want a chance at some personal space traits, that'll be running for another 6 days. But look, I am gonna keep things a bit shorter today, just because my wrist is just bugging me quite a bit, and I don't want to set up the EPG build over here right now to test the trade off this thing. I'll probably do that in a follow-up video or stream where I actually get the ship on the live server, so that I can just go through and level the ship up on my EPG character and just toss it on that build and see how it does. And again, if you guys are wanting to put money into the game, you know, the promo pack sale going on right now is the best promo pack sale we have literally ever had in the game's history. So if you have been going after any promo ships, I would recommend you take advantage of that before the sale ends in about 18 hours. But I also am very curious to see what sales we see throughout next week. If this is what they're starting off their flash sales with, like, when I saw that 50% promo pack sale, I was sitting there thinking there's actually a chance we may see the 75% Muds bundle sale again. I think there might be a chance, and if there is, all of my Zen is about to disappear into Muds bundles. But look, that's going to be it for today, guys. I know this is a bit shorter of a stream. I'm going to finish this colony sim, and then I'm going to step away from my computer for a little bit. So thank you all for stopping by. Again, thank you to all channel members and viewers for the continued support. I think this list is up to date. I believe it is. And yeah, definitely, if you have not heard about all the giveaways and contests going on, check out the video that I did yesterday, the news video, that has a breakdown and links to all of the giveaways running throughout the community. Thank you all for stopping by. See you guys around.